All right, hello again, and welcome to lucky number 13.
Ooh.
Yeah, lucky number 13 of Are You Cirrus? I am Jamie Arnold, Chief Meteorologist at WMBF News.
And I am Andrew Dockery, meteorologist in the morning at WMBF News. And this was another requested episode.
It was. I'm not really sure why.
I'm sure it was highly requested.
Highly requested.
Highly requested.
Who used to be the second best dressed man at WMBF News. The one, the only, Derrion Henderson. I've bumped you up to number one.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
On the
Wow.
day where I kind of didn't do my jazz.
I mean, maybe not today. We all have off days.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's an off day.
Well, you know.
It's just,
Yeah.
a fly-by
A
day.
very sharp dressed man.
Have
Thank
you
you.
always been in the fashion sense, or did you pick that up in the business?
No, it really goes back to like my dad, honestly.
Really?
That's who I really credit with. Like,
Sharp dresser?
All of my fashions. Yeah. Like,
Good.
I feel as if it just come natural, darling. But no, honestly though. But he was a very sharp dressed man. Everybody knew that around St. Louis. So I don't know. I think it just came naturally. And my mom is that way as well. Like I look back at pictures and everything, and I'm like, man, I was looking good back then, you know. So now it just kind of comes together. So
I
you
like
gotta
it.
keep the fashions going. You
So-
gotta look good.
Indeed, and you do. So before we get started, I don't think we can officially kick off this podcast until we have the official Derrion soundtrack for
I gave
Are
y'all the
You
first
Cirrus?
episode. The Are You
The
Serious?
very
and y'all
first
haven't
episode.
Used it.
There may be people who haven't gone all the way back to the first
Yeah.
episode. So
We're 13 in at this point.
13 in.
13 in, yeah, so,
that's special.
right. Well, I mean, you know.
Thousands, darling.
Yes. All right, so
viewership.
so hit it.
What the intro?
Yes,
Are You Serious?
and now we can
Are
begin.
You serious? Welcome to Are You Serious?
Season 2, that is going to be the open.
It has to be.
Absolutely going to be the open.
We also have to be careful what we say because Lauren, is going to go back and watch this.
Yep.
Yes.
And if we had too much fun with Derrion, you and I are going to hear it because she wants to make sure that we had the most fun with her.
Well,
so
she has
much
some great
so-
surprises, though.
Okay.
Listen,
Right.
I have no engagement
No
surprise
engagements.
for you.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I have no engagements, nothing crazy. So she wins in that situation.
All right.
Yes.
In
no
fact,
surprises my way.
before this, he said, "What's the agenda for this?"
Like, what's the rundown?
We have
you
none.
know,
Wherever it goes.
I'm a very structured individual where I need to
Wherever-
know what's coming next and what's coming first and how we ended and starting it and flipping and turning it and all that good stuff.
Wherever it goes.
And we don't know.
Buckle up. Hold on for the ride.
To nowhere.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. That depends on how good our guest is.
That is true. Will you carry the episode or not?
Yeah.
So for the intro, tell us a little bit about Derrion Henderson.
Oh, Lord.
I know you wrote a book. Wewe'll get to that at some point. but Tell us a little bit about Derrion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little something. Back in 2019.
Available on Amazon.
Yes, right now. It's still there. DerrionHenderson.com. But I guess we can start back in St. Louis.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
from
let's start in St. Louis.
I talk a lot
Yeah.
about St. Louis. That's my pride and joy and everything of that nature. So my family's there. Majority of my family is still in St. Louis. So that's kind of where I got my start. And I kind of already had my full circle moment, you can say, whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of us, we start into this industry and it's like you kind of work to get back home. Like, and some of it's easier than others because some people were from like middle of nowhere. It's like you can start there and then your full circle's over with. So for me, I got that opportunity in my second step to go home. I interned at home, got my first job in this industry in my college town, and then went right back home. They called me like a year and a half into my contract at my first market. So that was a blessing within itself, even to get that call, from a bigger market of that nature. Sort of like market, 80-something, like 81? So to get a call from like market like 21 at that time was like, oh crap, like come back, like okay, let's get
Look
it.
at me.
I know, like so to go back home, it was simply amazing to be on TV, to be down the street from my mom.
There's nothing like being in your home market,
Yes.
especially if you have like a big family and a
It
big
was
circle of friends, to have them see
everything.
you, especially after you work so hard, and then to have them
Yes.
see you on their own TV stations. That's kind of a special.
Yes, to click
special
over
thing.
old teachers,
Yeah.
classmates. for them just to see me doing my thing. And it's I didn't realize it at the time, but it's like a lot of these people hadn't seen me since high school,
right?
Even family, for that matter, right? I mean, to go off to school, been there for years, start my career back off at school, and then I just pop up on TV. Yeah. Like, for some people, that's a huge gap of like, wait,
what
happened? What happened? Where did this guy go? Right. And why is he now on my television? And humbly speaking, he's good at what he does too. Yeah. Look at him on there, So like, and St. Louis, Fox 2 was like the #1 station. So it wasn't like I went to like, the small one on the side. Like this was like a big station to get put on at. So that was huge. That was huge. So I created a lot of who I am today from that opportunity.
I love that.
What was it like going from St. Louis to Myrtle Beach? And how have you adapted to that? Because, listen, it could be a shock.
A little bit different.
Shock is an understatement, honestly, because it was a shock like across like the whole board, right? I mean, some people who just don't know would, I guess, consider, of course, St. Louis is the Midwest through and through, but some say that a lot of people in St. Louis have that South mentality.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Until you get to the South and realize, no. They have the Midwest mentality. The South is something different. So for me, it was hard, very, very challenging. It's gotten a lot easier like over the years and everything, but that was a huge step to take for myself. I mean, coming from literally a place where, like I told you, mama was down the street,
right?
Niece around the corner. Auntie cooking Sunday dinner. I'm getting me a plate after I leave, after I leave the station on the weekend shift, to now go to like, okay, well, let me call my auntie to figure out how to make them greens. Right. I got to cook it myself now, So going from that was very, very challenging. And then also adding on the extra layer of doing it in a pandemic.
Yeah.
Right. I came around October 2020.
Right.
South Carolina had like a half a pandemic, but it was still a pandemic. Nonetheless. But that was hard within itself, just to make that transition over. And
I do feel like, though, that you have very much embraced the beach lifestyle.
Yes. I fell in love instantly.
When I see you outside of work, sometimes inside of work, very laid back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go with the flow.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
That's just me in general,
Let's
too,
do
though.
that. Just just a chill guy.
Yeah.
Which I can appreciate.
I try to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Very chill.
I mean, no point of being so serious about everything. So, and that's what you learn about coming out here. Never been to the Carolinas ever before interviewing. I'm like, got off the airplane. I'm like, this place ain't too shabby. Because I judge places based off the airport.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Right? An airport says a lot.
If your airport is tip top, then okay, you care about your city. Because even people who are not coming to your city, if they're just doing a layover, right, you still want to make a good impression. Like, okay, it's clean in here.
Yeah.
If I come to your airport and it's nasty, I'm not happy to be in this city, right? But when I got off the airplane here, walked through it, I'm like, okay, this place not too shabby. I think we're gonna do a little something, a little one too.
All right.
And then to get out here and go through the community was one thing, but to get here, to move here, I remember running at the resort I was staying in when I moved out here, and just running down the street. It's like a Forrest Gump moment. Just running down the street, minding my own business, having my music in my ear, and it was this white guy on the other side of the road. Like he just, was running to same direction, everything. He just waved over, and look, run away. Oh, hey, what's up? So eventually the road ran out. I had to get over. I'm like, okay, he's like running like the same pace. Oh, you got a good pace going there. Yeah, okay. Like, I'm not thinking about it. Next thing you know, I'm talking to this man, and we just run. I'm like, oh, how far are you going?
Yeah.
He was like, well, I think I'm going to go to this place. I guess I'll go with you. And next thing you know, he was super cool. He was like, I come here every now and then. And he was like, but people are just so nice. And I'm like, wow. I think that was the first time that I got to experience that true Southern hospitality.
Right.
Yeah.
That you're not going to get in Missouri.
Yeah.
So that's why I really do like that difference of, bam, this is not like St. Louis at all, because St. Louis, you'll run past somebody and they won't even look your way.
Right.
So, but that's that Midwest mentality too. So, yeah.
It's funny because a lot of people always message me, and I'm sure you get this too, when you fill in. They say, Derrion and Lauren, absolutely love them, love you on the morning show, whatever. And one of the questions is he always that way? Just because you're so goofy and fun, and he'll start singing. Yeah. That's what I love. Is like that's 100% off camera too.
Yeah.
Like what you see on TV.
Walking around this place just singing stuff, just whatever goes up.
Except
goes off my mind.
Except
what?
And I'm going to bring this up.
Okay.
maybe it's just me when I feel on the morning show.
Oh, here we
Let's
go.
talk about that 4:50 to about 5:15 a.m.
yeah.
time
Oh,
frame.
okay. We can talk about that window.
That's when I don't talk to Derrion.
I'll open that window too. I
Because
know not to go in
Derrion-
too loud.
Derrion walks in that studio. He does not speak. He gets his mic on.
I do speak and say good morning.
He
say-
does. He says good morning.
It's probably
does.
not the most
He does.
enthusiastic
No,
good
it's
morning,
not.
but it's a
No,
good morning
it's-
nonetheless.
It's
Yeah.
good morning. And that's it. And then he asks for the mirror so he can check his tie in his
Yep.
pocket square. And until we're about 5:15 in,
Let me get through the A block.
not really talking
Starts
much to
to
Derrion.
lighten up.
Yeah, then he starts lighting up. And then by 7,
What?
you get Derrion.
I think that's 7 o'clock. I want to say at least about like 5:30.
No.
By the 5:30 half, I'm good. By the time we get our first moment out the way,
Right.
it's like, okay, the gears.
You're starting to come
The
into
gears
it.
are moving.
Okay.
The gears are moving. The gears are moving.
All right.
I'm a morning person, but I'm not like a super early morning person.
Right.
Like, why are you talking so early? Like, we got to still come into our minds. Like, we still
Yeah,
have to.
yeah.
You still have to think,
Yeah,
right? You're
yeah.
still waking up,
Yep.
right? The gears are still trying to move.
Okay.
It's like a ship, right?
When
I've
he's
learned
solo
how to get the
anchors,
gears
I just
going. Not.
when you solo anchor, I let him initiate the conversation.
Yeah.
I'll say good morning to him.
Yeah.
But I know like he's probably tired because he
Yep.
had to come in earlier.
Yep.
And then B, I'll let him when he's like, so I was watching this on Netflix. I said, okay, we're good.
And now we
Darion's
can
back.
talk.
There we go.
You know what that's called? It's boundaries.
Yes.
Lauren will come in sometimes because she's complete opposite.
Yeah. Ready to go.
4:30, she's wired.
On
Yeah.
speakerphone.
That's
Yeah.
what.
Singing.
Come in the studio.
Yeah.
I'm like, speakerphone. And she knows now. Immediately, I'm like, speakerphone.
Yeah. That's
all he
okay.
says.
Yeah.
Like, you're on speakerphone.
Yeah.
Like, it's like 10.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
you know, we get there.
Yeah.
The gears get
Yeah.
to going.
Yeah.
There you go.
So Lauren's going to hate
7
me for
o'clock.
even
The
bringing
show's
this
open at
up,
7.
but I'm going to bring it up. And Lauren, I'm sorry because you may watch this, you may not. We talk about this. This is our little joke, and Jamie actually understood it too toward the end of Lauren's episode. She's programmed to have about 10 sayings in the mornings. What's your favorite Lauren saying that she says?
Favorite.
Because she says, like, for people that are listening, the same 10 to 15 things.
Yeah.
That's
The same tone.
Yeah, they just kind of
At
come out
least
of her
I
mouth.
switch it
Randomly
up.
just
Yeah.
come out. They just randomly come out.
what's your
It's like
favorite?
Nickelodeon. One is like teaching the kids to sing or the world to sing.
No, let's get it right for everybody.
I like
you have
to teach
Yeah,
the world
that
to
one.
sing.
And then she stops.
That's
She
That's
doesn't
it.
go any. She doesn't go any further. But
And
that
then
little
she does
jingle.
the jingle on it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A favorite one.
Yeah. Is there one that are like, oh, Lauren's here? You get excited when you hear it?
Probably the
Probably not.
Nickelodeon one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
'Cause
does
I like
the
cartoons.
Nick,
Yeah.
Nickelodeon.
It's like a loop.
That's so sad
You
that we know that.
And it'd be so quiet and, but as soon as she comes back, she's back.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to turn the attention on you. Favorite Derrion moment?
I don't know if I can share all of them. They're usually probably at some restaurant somewhere,
Where I'm acting a fool.
acting a fool. Yeah.
Couple martinis in.
Couple of martinis. And we talked about this on the episode with Lauren, and when we were talking about our favorite spots to go. And it's Lombardo's. And I've been going to Lombardo's for quite a while.
Yeah.
And I told Derrion about Lombardo's. And then one night, a group of us, including Derrion, went to Lombardo's.
We did.
And had a really good time.
It was good.
It was
It was
really
the
good.
food was amazing.
It was so good.
Bartender.
He brought it up on
Yeah.
Monday,
Yeah.
saying,
And the bartender is a huge fan of WNBF, which is always fun. A couple weeks later, I went into Lombardo's, and I hear from Dennis, my favorite bartender, that Derrion and his crew were
That
in
it's
there.
Derrion's spot now.
That it is Derrion's spot, and they shut it down and had all this great, wonderful special treatment. So now it's competition to see whose restaurant it really is.
We were very popular. I went with Hallie there.
Yeah.
And we had we could barely have a conversation because there was so many people around. Just wanting to talk, wanting to take photos.
and buying
That's
a lot
awesome.
of buying a lot
You
of drinks
know,
for you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. You can add that in there too. It was a time where it was like I'm like, man, I would really like to get this conversation off, but it's like this person at the end of the bar is down my throat. Like I don't know what to
down
say.
It's a pretty neck and neck competition. But I will say,
But now it's my spot.
I will say this: it may be your spot, but if it's a busy Friday or Saturday night and you ever need to get in, just let me know. I can call the hostess, and she has a table reserved for me and a party of 4.
Gotcha.
Whenever.
Standing.
So if I'm not there, I may let you use my table.
I know how to get a seat when I need to get a seat. Okay.
Well, yeah, come through me and we'll get your seat.
One of my favorite moments with Derrion was when we went to Neil and Pam's and did karaoke. For people that may not know, Derrion is a karaoke
I'm a human
machine.
karaoke.
Yep.
Yeah.
What is your go-to karaoke song?
This is how we do it.
Figured that
This
was
is
gonna
how
be
we
it.
do it.
Yeah.
It's my number one. I get kind of confused on the rap version of it, like the rap verse.
Right.
I kind of go off, but I get back on it. I just got to catch the beat,
Right.
Because he kind of goes off the beat, so I got to kind of vibe with it. But I'm gonna get back on it. Just give me a minute. So that one.
And when you
Usher
karaoke,
song,
it's not just singing; it's dancing too. Like you're all into it.
I'm performing.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
You got it bad. It's my next one. It's my next one.
That's the encore.
Yes. That's like my, let's slow it down. Sometimes you like to do it nice and fast. Sometimes you got to do it nice and easy.
What I remember about that night is the longer we were there, it's like I heard Derrion's voice again, and he's up like grabbing the mic. It's like Derrion's back for another track.
Yep.
Yeah, little bro down. All right. Yeah, I love some karaoke.
So we're a weather podcast.
Yeah. Welcome to the weather. Are you serious?
So
Here's our agenda.
This is something I always enjoy hearing. What is Derrion's biggest weather story from like a news side that you ever covered?
That's a great question. A biggest weather. It's tragedy though.
Well,
I guess that's what it is. I mean, normally when
Yeah.
news get involved, that's kind of what
Yeah.
it is, right?
Yeah.
The biggest one that I can remember being a part of was the duck boat tragedy.
Oh,
in
yes.
Branson,
Wow.
Missouri.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a big one. I remember coming into work, and they were like, "You're going to Branson." I'm like, "Where?"
Right.
Like, what? I ain't want to wear this today. Better
Yeah.
get wear it 2 days in a row. Like, where am I going? Like, can I go home? No, we need you out there right now.
For people who don't
Like-
remember the duck boat tragedy there in Branson was like a tour boat.
It was, yeah.
Goes
So it's a
out.
tour boat. Yeah, you get on it in like a parking lot.
Yep.
It's a boat essentially on wheels, and then they go and drive it right on into the lake.
Yep.
So with this situation, essentially, it was a storm on the way
Yep.
that they misjudged.
Yep.
They didn't know the severity of it, or clearly they wouldn't have went out, but they ended up going out, and a few people, I don't remember exactly
Yeah.
how many, but a few families lost their lives on that boat, and it was probably one of the most tragic things to go and cover. The cars from the families were still in the parking
Right.
lot. The other family members who actually survived it were coming back to like get the stuff, and like of course they didn't want to talk to media at that time, trying to figure out who they were, what potentially were they from St. Louis, and try to tie that back. National news was all over it as well. That was probably one of the most biggest ones I can remember, like off the top of my head. Of course, being in the Midwest, naturally, I covered my fair share of tornadoes and things of that nature, like fair share.
Yeah. And a lot of snow and ice.
And a lot of snow and ice.
Yep.
Yes. We get literally every single, weather situation out there. Hot as I don't know what, it's fish grease in the summertime. You know what I mean? So it's like, listen, we get a little bit of everything out there. So, I mean, there's a few weather stories, but that one I think is one that still is carried along with me and stays with me because that was just a tragedy.
And what do you think about hurricanes?
That was my
It's
next question.
different. It's different. And luckily I'm inside now, so I'm
Yeah,
not on the
yep,
streets.
You
But
can
clearly
send you out there
clearly
if you want.
state.
Wow. Actually, let's
Somebody-
do this.
Can we pay the power bill?
Doom.
For those listening, all of our
Gotta add
lights
the dramatic. You know?
just cut off.
Yeah. right.
Was that you?
It was not me. No,
I'm inside the studio.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe some spirits around here. I don't know. What was the question again? I
Hurricanes.
forgot.
Hurricanes. Covering hurricanes.
The
Yes.
difference of it, because the difference is because when you're in the Midwest covering, storms and things of that nature, tornadoes is after the fact, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it came through, go to this area,
Yep.
now we see the tragedy. I'm not in it. It's gone.
Right.
Right? But this, you're like standing in the middle of it. So luckily I'm happy I'm not staying in the
Yeah,
middle
I was
of
going
it.
to say, well, you're not really a big fan of being hanging out in the middle
no,
of it.
No. Because I'm used to coming there afterwards, right? I mean, I guess being in the middle of it the most would be like for us in the Midwest would be snow, ice,
right.
things of that nature, where I have to like get over there, which is easier reporting, honestly.
Yes.
Like I remember in the mornings just telling them, "Oh, this is my ride into work. Maybe it's going to be like that for you too." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was really easy reporting there. But yeah, you deal with everything out there, especially the heat.
What's your like dream forecast? Like the perfect weather for you?
For me,
Because in the morning they do this to me. I don't know if they do this to you.
we do.
They blame us for
Oh,
the
absolutely.
weather.
I don't blame you.
They complain to us
Yep.
for the weather,
I'll take that.
especially Lauren.
Yeah.
But Derrion occasionally, if it's a long stretch, Derrion
If I
will
got
start
something to do, I'm mad.
Right.
If I have plans
And you can
and
tell-
your weather forecast is bothering me.
He'll start asking about a weekend. So what's next Friday?
Yeah.
And what are you doing,
Because
Derrion?
even like now, like it's what? The end of May, and I still haven't had a Saturday beach day because
That's
we've been
been
having
tough.
rain
I know.
every single weekend. So thanks.
Yeah. Did you get in some beach time this Memorial Day weekend?
I did not because it was raining.
Well, Monday turned out okay.
See, when I go to the beach, I like having like a little cooler.
Right.
Oh.
You know,
You're planting.
8
You're-
a.m.?
You're planting. You're there for a minute.
I'm there for a minute and I've had a few drinks. Having to do that and then get back up and then go to work the next day, I just don't like that. I like having a good recovery
enough.
day. So that's why I like doing it on the Saturday, you know, where I can like go chill, lay out, whoop, 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 wop,
Yep.
you know, and
Yep.
then chill on Sunday and then come back to work
Yeah.
on Monday.
Being from
And I couldn't. I
being
didn't
from
have-
St. Louis, what we thinking? Like 82 and sunny? Are you like the 70s?
The 80s are fine.
Okay, cool.
No wind.
No wind.
No wind or light wind.
Okay.
like very very
Like a
light.
breeze.
Because I don't like all the just sand getting everywhere. Like chill. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
gonna be out there chilling.
Right.
Sun is nice. You know, gotta let the melanin grab that up, absorb that. And yeah, it's a good day.
Yeah.
And I found my good beach place to where like the tourists don't come down.
Would you like to
Do
tell?
you want to tell us?
I do not.
Okay. All right. I think we all have kind of our favorite
I do
little
not.
beach spots.
Yes.
So yeah.
So
I know I got mine.
I found my spot where I get
Yep.
free parking. Right.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Free parking. Just
Okay.
drive on down there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Walk on to the beach. Chill. Do what I got to do.
I
and
picture
then
the gates
head on
opening
back.
Right.
as he pulls in with the roof down, the top down.
Yeah, big sun hat on, big glasses.
This is how we do it in the
Yep.
radio.
Yep. That's it.
Oh man, that's so
Laid out. You know.
Yeah.
laid out.
Yep, yep.
Well, I want to ask because you've joined the podcast game recently.
Yes.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that. How's that going?
Yes, it's going great actually. I started it back during Black History Month, where I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't really listen to a lot of podcasts, so I'm like, it's a space in the world that I'm not that familiar with. I'll say when it comes to my own personal like listening and viewing habits. So I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
But
We don't either.
but I knew I wanted to do something like long form, right? Because I knew just the stories that I was doing during Black History Month. I just wanted to give them more of a space to really tell their stories. So we started it with Bridging the Gap back in February, and I loved it. The people who I did the interviews with loved it. Some viewers even contacted me and was saying like they really appreciated it. So I knew I wanted to do. I had that as a 4-part series. I wanted to keep it that way. I didn't want to extend it because I was enjoying it, but I wanted to do it in another way, right? So then I kind of sat on it, because I'm very like an energy based type of person where I need to know where my energy is taking me. I don't like just doing stuff just to do it. I like actually having a purpose behind it. So instead of like really, I guess, listening to myself and figuring out what I want, of course we are a medium where we need viewers, right? Who actually want to look at it and listen to it. And something you hear from the viewership all the time, I'm pretty sure you guys hear it as well, is about good news stories, good
news.
people in the community, things of that nature. And I'm like, how can I incorporate that? Because as you all also know, it's hard really putting that into a news product, right? About, highlighting Joe Schmo about whatever's going on about his business, right? So I'm like, how can I do it in a way to where it's relevant, it's timely, and it's something that people actually want to watch. So that's where Who's Next with Derrion Henderson came up, because I'm like, there's some phenomenal people in this community, some phenomenal young people as well, who are doing great things, you know, within the culinary arts field, within mental health, within just so many different places as I started to get out and really, you know, go to different events and everything. And I'm like, we need to create a space for that. So that's where Who's Next with Derrion Henderson came up. And we did the first one on Chef JK, a chef who food I love.
An incredible story.
Oh my God.
Incredible story.
You know, and listen, that food after we got done with that podcast, you know.
I was
'cause when
wondering if you were going to take a bite.
He had already started on Grandson today doing the food. I'm like, well, I was trying to do some food. So
You're welcome to come anytime, any Wednesday.
I try to incorporate some food and some of the stuff that I'm doing too, just kind of still give me a free plate. But
My man, that's why we get along.
Yeah.
but still, you know, make it relevant to what we're talking about, right? So I'm really excited for it. I'm excited for who's going to be coming next with it. It's just a monthly podcast, so
Yeah.
No, y'all on episode 13, 14,
Yep.
15. See, the way me and my time set up. And also the production of it as well, because we go out into the actual place,
correct.
right? And Dustin, Ivy, and George Hansen. I mean, two just amazing guys who set it all up. We literally go from literally nothing, and next thing you know, it's like camera, lights, and everything everywhere.
Your podcast definitely has a very good look to it.
Thank you.
Very good look to
Thank
it.
you. You know, they put.
It's kind of hard to compliment
We gonna
another
work on the
podcast.
look, you know,
we
I'm
are.
not gonna mention this side view, but see, you
Yeah.
gotta, you know, we gonna think of something else for
Yeah,
y'all.
we're working on it.
Yes,
we got some ideas.
Yes. But also, we're trying to Rashawn,
Yeah.
he's a producer here.
Yep.
Yeah.
He really helped out when it came to doing something different than what I was doing before. Right.
I love that.
Right.
I mean, just bringing it over and just doing a podcast, and we just sitting there talking the whole time. I mean, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But developing the segments is what I really needed help with, and he really came in and really helped think of like what we're going to be talking about with these people. You know what I mean? Where it's not just some basic conversation. And Dana, who's in our graphic place, she always does a good job. Does a good job with our graphics too. So, so it's good.
Derrion, it kind of seems like Derrion has an entire team of people
I mean, you
for
have
his
the
podcast.
same people working on it as well. The
You
same
and
amount
I-
of people. You have you two, Anya, Sarah. It's the same process.
Andrew comes out here and sets
Dana
up the
does your
mics
stuff
and
too.
puts-
Yeah, I
Put
need
their set
in our
out.
little books. I wouldn't had to buy a little box.
Derrion, that's classic Derrion. He has an entire team to make him look amazing, and here we are, like dragging the table on the set,
Tear down crew.
plugging in the TV, you know,
Sure, it just stays on.
making sure the lights stay on.
Stay going around this place. What's going on around here? No,
You clearly see where the station is investing their money.
Stop it. But it's also, I mean, it goes back to, I know Lauren gave a huge spiel about, you know, getting into the industry and being in the industry, but it goes back to also making sure that you're maintaining good relationships in the industry, right?
Yes.
Because even when it came to the Black History side of it, when we did that podcast, I remember going to Dustin and just with an idea. I'm like, Dustin, I think I want to do like a podcast. Yeah, do it. Let's do it. You know, he was literally just on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, cool. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And y'all know in this industry, when it comes to if you have a photographer on board with something you're doing, that's half the battle.
Right.
Like
Right.
if you and then if you actually care about it, you know, you're gonna they're gonna make it look amazing.
Right.
And what they've done with it, like I remember when he first did the whole setup, I'm like, I was just thinking the camera there, a little light, boom, 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 and next thing you know, it's like cameras moving, and it was just great. So, yeah.
Interesting. Very.
We got season 2 coming. I mean, just
Okay.
bring me on the team. You know,
He described ours.
For a small fee.
camera here, camera there, put up a light and go. That's
If
what.
the lights work.
That's what we do.
Yeah. I will say, when Jamie and I were pitching this, we thought maybe 5-10 viewers a week.
Y'all on a great run with it. Really,
We did not expect
No.
like over 1,000 now
pulling
and
in
something
numbers
like.
and everything.
So we're gonna have to adapt somehow.
Yeah, we're gonna have to keep up. It's which is fine. I enjoy a little competition with Derrion.
Yeah, no, y'all doing a great job.
No,
Y'all
it's good.
doing
And we
amazing
also have to
job.
brag on you for a second. Your Bridging the Gap series recently nominated, or one of the stories from Bridging the Gap, right?
No,
It
that
was
actually
another-
was a lone story.
Yes.
So, and shout out to George for that because I was doing the Black History Spotlights. This is actually last year before Bridging the Gap. It was just Black History Spotlights
Right.
I was doing. And I'm like, I want to do something, you know, different.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to just do, you know. So I did it. And then he came to me about that story, Freewood's Farms, which is down in Socastee.
Yep.
And he was like, yeah, it's this farm with credit. He was like, I was looking at SETV, and I was like, it's really, really cool. Once again, like I just told y'all, you got a photographer half on board.
Yep.
It's going to look good.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah. And I started looking into it myself. I'm like, this is good. But I'm like, I don't want to make it just a Black History Spotlight because those were running like, a minute, minute 15. I'm like, this deserves let's take our time with this one.
Yeah.
So we ended up just running that as a special report in April of last year. And now it's Emmy nominated.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really excited about that. That's coming up in a couple of weeks. And also NABJ, the National Association of Black Journalists, just nominated for Salute to Excellence.
That's awesome.
Which is amazing.
And that's huge for me. And I think that one matters more to me, honestly, than the Emmy one,
Right.
to be completely honest, because, it being recognized and accepted by my community.
Yeah.
That just, I don't know, it just brings so much joy to my heart, honestly.
great.
Because Salute to Excellence is hard.
Right.
I'm going to tell you that. They normally gets a lot of national stuff that gets it. So for that to be dominated, and a friend texted me and told me, I ain't even know. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, I stopped everything. Stop it all. Stop the show. I couldn't believe it. So I'm really excited about that. So we'll see.
Congratulations. Yeah, that's amazing on both.
Yeah.
Congrats.
We'll see in August if I
Yes.
grab that. But I'm going to look good, though.
Oh,
Well-
yeah, we know you're going to look good. We know you're going to
We'll
look
see the
good.
photos for sure.
Yeah.
To brag on Derrion too, not because of just his work, but his attitude, and I think you could attest to this. Lauren and him combined have been just a
And we came at the same time, too, around the same time.
tremendous. Like both of you have been a great asset to the
Yeah,
team.
yeah.
But it's not just because, hey, you know what you're doing, but they take the time out of their day. They could easily just say, hey, I'm in, I'm out.
Yeah.
But they take the time out of the day to work with reporters or show they care.
Yeah.
And just that goes a long way. So
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you for recognizing that. But it goes back to what one of the photogs during my internship, Stan DeWitt, he said, before you try to go become an anchor, just know that some of the best reporters become the best anchors. And that was probably, I would say, the number one most valuable piece of advice I've ever received.
Yeah.
Because he was right. He was absolutely correct. And he was like, just look around you. Another name, Mandy Murphy. She's in St. Louis at Fox 2, the old station I worked at. Phenomenal. And he was like, just go look back at her reporting days. Phenomenal. And now I get it.
Yeah.
Actually being an anchor. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to ad-lib that out. You don't know that,
Right.
you
You
know,
have to
how to
know the
really
story.
do that.
Know the
you have to
story.
know it,
Yeah.
and with being an anchor, you got to know a lot of them. But still, you got to know how to give it that finesse, right? And you learn that from being a reporter. You learn that from being on the streets. You learn that from everything going haywire.
And
you
also
got to
just get
figure
an
it out.
appreciation for
Yes.
digging in the trenches.
Yeah.
Exactly,
And getting it
exactly.
done,
And
getting it
getting
done.
that story
Yeah.
and knowing what elements you can get and knowing
Right.
what's not attainable, but knowing, how you can finesse it to make it work for what you're trying to do.
Right.
And I think that's where both of us come from at our core.
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's not just one who's is the main anchor and just wants
Right.
to be the anchor and always wanted to be an anchor and that's
Right.
all that person knows. It's like both of us came from that reporter side.
Yeah.
So we look at these stories, we look at what we're doing from that reporter's eye, which gives it that extra little
Yeah.
You know,
You
and
both
that's
have, I feel
why.
like you both have journalism in your core.
Yeah.
Like we have weather in our core.
Yeah.
You have it in your core. And then to throw on top of all of that, you've just come together so perfectly,
Yeah.
the three of you, that
Yeah.
it's just kind of
Yeah.
it's a magic situation there
Yeah.
for the
You put
morning show.
personality on top of all of that. I mean, you just have natural magic.
Yeah.
And from our first conception together,
Yeah.
the first year we were nominated for News Anchor Team of the Year, and then last year we won it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like it's been good. It's been good. We've been great.
It
you
makes
know?
coming to work so much better when you enjoy the people
Yeah.
you work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
and it's
sure.
easy. It's
Yeah.
easy
Easy.
to enjoy working with
Yeah.
you
Easy,
and Lauren for
easy.
sure.
Especially those who
So-
respect your boundaries too, and know that when it gets to 5:15, that's when you're gonna be on.
The other
It just makes working together just so much easier.
since
you know?
Derrion has circled back to that, I'm gonna circle back as well. Then maybe we can get to
I
some
think we're
to
gonna
some
have a little
weather.
fun.
Derrion also speaking of respecting his boundaries, as we're getting ready to come out on a 3-shot about a moment or whatever, I have occasionally apparently gotten within the bubble of
Yes.
Derrion.
Yes.
Yes. I've heard about this.
I'm very keen on personal space.
Yeah,
You know?
And sometimes you have to get uncomfortably close to somebody to
For a shot.
to get the television shot.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But
So-
you can back up too.
So maybe I've gotten into the shot a second too early, into the bubble a second too early, and Derrion lets me know.
You back up 6 feet. Pandemic 6 feet. Back up.
We're
you know
keeping
what
that
I mean?
going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just let me get a little breather. You know what I mean? Maybe I want to just move my arms a little bit.
Right.
You know, do
Yeah.
a little something. And you just
Yep.
right here.
Well,
You know, so
I'm over here trying to make good television. So
but the boundaries, he knows. Okay, back up a little bit, just one step, and then we good, and it looks better on TV.
I think we should have Derrion. I think we should have Derrion pick and answer a question.
I think so too. So because of your podcast, we developed a segment.
Okay.
Shooting the breeze.
Shooting
we don't
the
have any
breeze.
great.
Shooting the breeze.
We don't have any great icon.
No
that pops
intros, no great
We gotta
lighting
hit up
for
Donna
it.
then.
You know.
Well, shooting. Thanks, Siri. So, how about you become a meteorologist for 10
Okay.
seconds, and you try to
Uncertified,
answer.
least accurate, huh?
You try to answer a question that viewers sent Jamie and and we'll see if you're right.
Okay, go.
You think that'd be fun?
I really hope it's a good one.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll do a couple. If it's
Hopefully
not,
it's simple.
yeah. Well, it's not.
Oh,
Best advice you would want to give someone wanting to start gardening. This is from Adam via Twitter. So it's not even a weather
Best
question.
advice you would give someone
What would you
wanting to
tell?
start
And we'll see
gardening?
if you're right. Thank you, Adam, for the question.
That's actually a good question for me because you know I had Judy for a little while there, my plant.
yeah.
Had yes, because she so we had to stay in a hotel when it was like the weather event where like the ice storm came through, right?
Okay.
I forgot to put Judy in the house. So Judy froze. And she just never came back to me.
That happens.
You know,
Yeah.
So my best advice is to take the plants in when you hear it's going to be a ice storm, but also read the labels. Read the labels when you go and get whatever plant you're looking for. I think people just was like, "Oh, this is a cute plant. I'm gonna get it," not realizing that some plants need extra sunlight. Some plants need no sunlight at all. Some of them need to be, watered once a week. Some of them need to be watered, once every 3 weeks. People just don't be knowing, and it's right in your face. So you just need to really like
It's
pay
your
attention
fault.
with. Literally, it is. Be like, what's happening? You. So
You are the problem.
you are the problem, right? But there's like
my
apps
goodness.
nowadays too, that you can like take a picture of like the plant and
Yeah.
tell you kind of what's
Picture
wrong with
this.
it.
I have it for
Yeah.
my grass.
Yep.
Yeah, so I would say know your space, know where you're trying to put a plant, know what look you're going for, because just because you want that look in that space, it doesn't mean you have the right plant for that area.
This has been Gardening with Derrion Henderson.
Yeah.
So
Anything
now,
you would add to that?
yeah, I'm going to add the real answer to it.
Disrespect.
So Adam, here locally, honestly, the biggest thing, and I don't want to bore people with gardening stuff.
Please don't.
The biggest thing, especially if you're going to be gardening in the ground,
Ooh.
if you're getting something in a pot, get a good potting soil, spend a little extra money for a good potting soil. If you're going to be gardening in the ground, we have a lot of people saying, "Oh, I want to grow tomatoes, I want to grow stuff." Is the soil. The soil. You have to have good soil. If you plant something in our sandy...
How do you know? I mean, there's so many different types of soils.
Basically
though.
around here-
I just go for like the little medium price one, so it's not too expensive, it's not too cheap.
Well, and that's why your plants are kind of medium.
No, it was the ice storm.
Okay, well, we're moving on from the ice storm. Good soil. Good soil. And my best advice is if you're going to be planting in the ground around here, tomatoes, vegetables, plants, flowers, whatever, add compost. Compost. You can get, this is my secret, by the way.
I know where you're going with this. I'm dying at his reactions over here.
Go, and I know I can see you doing this very easily. Go to the Horry County Solid Waste Authority out off Highway 90. You can literally get a ton of compost.
For cheap.
I can't remember the price. $10, $20 a ton of compost for a ton of compost. Take it home, dig it into your soil. Do that maybe once a year, and you will have absolutely beautiful flowers, guaranteed.
It doesn't
Thank
smell like
you.
anything?
There you go, Adam. No, it's not that kind
It's
of
not that
compost.
compost. That's funny. That one's too
yours.
serious for Derrion.
Okay.
We'll see what this one is.
I thought I had a good answer, by the way. Too.
It was good. It was,
Yeah.
good.
It was
good.
Don't let them freeze.
Use my tips.
Don't let them freeze.
I'm telling you, they actually work out. It's a long one.
I know. Let's do a different one. Sorry,
it simple.
Derrion, this is great. This is from Stephanie via YouTube. Why do thunderstorms seem to be louder in the mountains or even at the beach? Stephanie, great question.
Why do thunderstorms seem to be louder in the mountains or at the beach? Well, I'm guessing the mountains because, it's not a lot of places for like the sound to bounce off of, right? So it's just all over the place. So bam, like when it boom, it's gonna boom all over the place. So that's what the mountains. So the beach, again, there's no place for it to bounce off of, right? I mean, it's just open water. So
you circled around a really good answer.
Mm-hmm.
So
like you circled around it actually really, really well.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
We were great.
So what's the answer?
So
What's my grade first?
I would say it was like 78.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll give you a
I'll take a
solid.
B. C.
I'm gonna give you like a 79.
Oh,
okay.
Close to a B.
I'm almost gonna give you a B. So
I started to look in your eyes. I didn't know if I was like terribly wrong or like greatly right. I didn't know which one it was, but I saw like the
You
glow
weren't-
in your eyes. Like he's going, and then I just stopped.
I really thought you were going to go, and then you like kept bouncing one way or the other.
Like the sound.
so like I said, you were really close. So let's start with the mountains.
Okay.
Thunder as a sound, like any sound, literally bounces off of things. So if you're maybe say in a mountain valley, and you have a close lightning strike, that thunder is going to bounce between the mountainsides. And so you may get sort of a much more booming or echoey type of a thunder.
That's what I said.
At the beach, it's kind of the opposite, where you really, again, as you were saying, you don't really have much. There's a very distinct sound of thunder when you're on the beach versus even when you're just a little bit inland.
Yeah,
It's a different sound, and because there you don't have anything for that thunder really to sort of bounce and echo off of, so you get more of a sort of a crisp and clear sound of that rumble of thunder. Thunder over the middle of the ocean, if you've ever been on a cruise or been out on a boat way out in the ocean in a thunderstorm, it's a very distinctively different thunder compared to being here. So
I'll give myself an 85.
And also, not to even think too, in the mountains, higher altitude, sometimes
Higher altitude.
closer to
Yeah.
storms.
yeah.
So that's why I said you're close to a B there.
Yeah, yeah.
That wasn't too shabby.
It really wasn't.
2 for 2.
It really
2 for
wasn't.
2. Should we try one
I think
more?
we need to
Yes.
try one more.
All right.
I'm going
Yes.
to pick this one, and I don't care how complicated
Oh,
it is
okay.
or how
One
long
was
it is. I'm going
something
to dig
about
around.
like, what do you do when you're not forecasting? It was like, he doesn't forecast. We'll save that for later. I hope
See, I'll
it's-
be knowing stuff.
Oh, I see. Oh, I know what this one is.
Okay. All right. I'm a big advocate of tornado siren warning systems, having lived in Memphis for 30 years.
M-Town.
Tornado frequency has increased here the past several years, and technology has improved for warning specific areas. They save lives. Agree or disagree? Tom, via Twitter.
That warning sign save lives?
Sirens.
Sirens.
Yeah. Tornado
Absolutely.
warning sirens. You think they save lives?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. I mean, especially from being in the Midwest and
Right.
living there and knowing that you hear the siren. I mean, after a while it becomes white noise, so you really don't know when to go down. But it's still, I think, anywhere like gives you like that alert in your mind. Of course, you should definitely have the First Alert Weather app that's free in all app stores, and
Writing
also
the check.
be watching WMBF News.
Right.
But yes, absolutely. If you got to go to the basement and you don't have a TV down there or something of that nature, or maybe you're asleep or something of that nature, hearing that siren is going to wake you up to know, okay, I need to get in the basement. And people have done plenty of stories about people who, maybe was watching TV and got that extra alert to get in the basement, but that siren woke them up to, let me turn on TV to see what they're talking about. And if y'all on TV, get in the basement right now, they're getting up and going. So yes, I agree. It is great.
I think from the St. Louis mindset, I definitely see where he's coming from. Because in a big
100%.
city, absolutely.
Yes.
Or in a giant flat field in Kansas or
I've never heard
Missouri,
about here though.
because we don't have them.
Got you.
We don't have tornado sirens here, and one of the
Why not?
primary reasons that we don't is that, and you've probably noticed this from covering severe weather and tornadoes, our tornadoes are a lot different than yours.
True.
In St. Louis or Missouri and Kansas, that whole area, big tornadoes.
Yeah, Memphis. Yeah.
Memphis. They're on the ground for 2 hours. You can see them. Our tornadoes touch down, drop, flip a couple of cars, damage a house, blow down some trees in 30 seconds, and then that's it.
Gotcha.
And that's done.
But that's the difference, because out there, it'll completely level your house out, and then that's it.
And we do occasionally get intense tornadoes, but the vast majority of ours are very brief. By the time you see it on radar, it's already touched down and done its damage, and it's just not a cost-effective warning method for here, because our tornadoes are quick.
Does it cost that much, though?
The maintenance of sirens is very expensive. It is actually very expensive.
Really? But in a city, it's
very
very
beneficial.
beneficial.
Only have like what? I don't say how. I guess it depends on the area, but like what, 3 or 4 sirens or something of that nature.
But
like
then
maybe
again,
one in Myrtle, one in North Myrtle, one in like Little River area type situation. You know what I mean?
But then again, it's if you go back to our tornadoes, which are small and very brief.
Could it be deceiving?
Do you want to literally warn the entire northern half of Horry County, including North Myrtle Beach, for a tornado that's going to touch down for 30 seconds outside of Longs?
Better safe than sorry, though.
Yeah, but it's again, between the cost effectiveness and it's just not effective overall for us here locally. The only place locally, I don't think they have them anymore, but after this huge tornado outbreak in 1984, Bennettsville was leveled by 2 EF4 tornadoes. They did install tornado sirens in Marlboro County and in and around Bennettsville, just sort of as a reaction to that.
Gotcha.
I don't think they're still operational. They were up until not too long ago, but it's just not effective, especially with the technology that the vast majority of us are getting all of our weather information on our phones.
Yeah.
It's just a lot better locally. Again, out there, I love the idea of a siren. Sirens were originally created for rural populations who were, farmers who were out in the middle of Oklahoma and Kansas and Missouri, who were busy on the tractor all day.
Yeah.
That was their heads up and that was their notification. But now with the technology, it's just not beneficial or cost effective.
Interesting.
Look at you. Good job, though.
Look at that.
Yeah.
You did pretty good.
That was like our bread and butter out there.
Yeah.
Of course, the forecast as well. But like, when your lights is out, because sometimes lights are going blank out. So how am I going to know to get in the basement?
Right.
Bam, the siren goes off.
Yeah.
Get on down there.
Yep.
So
that one of the most haunting sounds in the world. One of my favorite sounds.
And
but
it
it's
rings
a very
every
haunting sound.
Monday, like first Monday of like the month. It gives
tests.
like the little test or whatever.
Yeah.
But like even then, it's like, wait a minute, what's going on now? It's like sunny outside, like 100 degrees.
Yeah.
But like you're still looking up to the top.
Well, they are telling us to wrap.
This is another
this is our
one.
longest one, I think, yet.
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
I think so. So you broke a record for us, mainly because you talk so much.
Are you serious?
Derrion, thank you for real.
Yeah, thank you.
We appreciate you being on here.
It's been fantastic. Appreciate you in general. We're still working on some fun things scheduled up over the next couple of weeks, including the live podcast.
Okay.
Live.
Yeah, we'll see
we're
how
gonna
that
have
goes.
Y'all gonna hit the
Crash and burn.
we're gonna be having lights and boom cameras and motion
and maybe a cocktail.
And probably craft services.
Looks like y'all about to be calling my people.
Well, we might.
We
We might.
So I'm gonna call my people to call your people.
Make sure you like, subscribe, rate, whatever you can do on all those platforms.
Download, do all of that, and it's.
And watch who's next too, by the way.
Yeah,
And watch who's next with
Watch Who's
Derrion
Next.
Henderson. Absolutely,
Another one's coming out in a couple of weeks.
It is definitely a high quality.
And we have like a landing page too on
on
our
our
website.
Yeah, it's on the same as that.
Just press podcast and you'll see both of us.
Yeah,
sitting
all
right
of us,
there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Right.
Well, that's it. Episode 13.
In the books.
Are you
Thanks for
serious?
having me.
A weather conversation between you and us. We're out.
See y'all.
Deuces.